This is Damien Würsten. He's closed $100 million worth of deals as an import-export physical commodity trader. He's been in the game for over 15 years and runs multiple successful commodity trading firms. His different firms import and export different products such as scrap metal all the way to wood pellets. He recently grew a small commodity trading firm from doing small numbers to doing over $500,000 in sales, and that was just in under 9 months. I had a chance to sit down with him and ask him exactly what it takes to grow an import-export business to do $10 million a year. Here's exactly what he said. And honestly, you're going to be shocked. You've mentioned quite a lot on your YouTube channel how you've built some failed import-export commodity trading businesses. How has that changed from now starting some very successful ones? How has that changed? Like, what are the things that you've done that have made you grow?
Okay, so I started and failed at two businesses before having the one that are really working right now. And I think the main difference is that um I've chosen my business partner with way more caution. So that's one of the things. But I think the other one is like now what I'm looking for is like an angle in the supply chain. So that means that before that I would say like, oh, I think I see the price of whatever fertilizer is crashing. So maybe I know someone that needs fertilizer. I would try to do the trade, even though I had like no expertise, nothing about fertilizer. I just saw that there were an opportunity, and maybe there were an opportunity, but that I didn't really see the supply chain in the wall before that. Now what I'm trying to do is that okay, I'm saying okay, so this is the supply chain of chromium. All right, so with the chrome, if we are there in the supply chain, what are the margin there? What are the risks there compared to be at the end of the supply chain with the distribution? What are the margin? What we can do, and so on. So now I'm way more I'm considering the supply chain in a whole, and I'm trying to see okay, here we can have there are better margin. I like the risk, so let's try to tackle this part of the supply chain. So I'm way more yeah, I do way more research before
Yeah.
jumping into a commodity or in a product that I used to do.
And you spoke about risk there, right? So
Yeah.
especially when you're trading commodities, which is different to other products, import-export products,
Yeah.
right? Commodities, they have risk. Could you quickly explain the importance of risk, especially when you're trading commodities rather than, just general items that most people are trying to get into?
Yeah. So there's okay. So there's a lot of type of risk when you trade commodities, and you say that the four big risks will be like counterparty risk. So if your buyer or your seller doesn't fulfill the contract, so this is an issue because we are talking about international trade. So if your buyers is I don't know in China and then he doesn't follow his contract, what do you do? Are you going to hire a lawyer in China to go against it? I mean, uh, it seems extremely likely. So counterparty risk is the first one. Then there is what we call the price risk. So if you trade a commodity that the price, you cannot hedge the price on the future market. So let's say that you have a 6-month contract at a price of 100, but at the middle of the contract, the price starts to decrease. And right now the price is at $80 instead of 100, but you still have the contract for 100. Maybe your supplier is going to say, look, Damien, I really like you, but you know what? Now the price is $80. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to keep purchasing with you. I'm going to find another supplier. So that's what is quite important in commodities. Like the price moves a lot compared to other finished goods. But a lot of finished goods, the price also move actually, but not as much as for commodities. So the price moving is another thing. And then yeah, I would say those are the two real the two most important ones. Then there's other prices like forex, other risks like forest risk, um, geopolitical risk. I mean, we have seen right now the geopolitical risk would completely change the trade flows overnight. So this is also a risk. I mean, there are a lot of different risks, but the biggest one would be counterparty and price for sure.
Okay, awesome. So with your own trading firms, because I think you run a couple, right? Some that you can't actually talk about right now because they're quite secret. Which one can you talk about today, by the way?
Yeah, I think the one that I'm the most open is Gamba Energy. So this is the one that I have with one of my associate, Paul. The headquarters are in Romania, and what we do there is mostly biomass. So we buy biomass and resell biomass. So biomass would be like wood pellet. So those are little pieces of food.
Yeah.
Also waste. We started to trade waste. So basically garbage. It's not really biomass, but we buy waste. We sell to a cement plant that burn those waste. Yeah. So this is what we do at Gomba. And yeah, so this is the one that I'm the most yeah, I have all I can speak about this one. The other one, I have one in Congo that we in DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Um, this one I cannot really speak about it, but it's more for a question of risk because Congo is a very very poor country. So if I say on YouTube, yeah, we are making that amount of money with this,
Yeah.
I mean you never know. We have like valuable stock in the warehouses. We already had like an issue. One of our truck was like shot with a Kalashnikov and so on, like this. So I mean, for it's just like real risk there. I don't really want to speak about it. And the other one is that just it's just like we are making a lot of money, so I don't want to jeopardize it by
Yeah.
by talking about that online. So that's that would be the main reason.
That's so awesome. And to talk about a little bit about Grumbar Energy, you haven't been doing that for very long. Could you
No,
talk about how you got into that, right?
yeah, exactly. So basically, as I said, now I'm choose very, very carefully my associate. And here, I had Paul that I met with through my YouTube channel. Actually, he come to me through my courses and so on. And he's been trading wood pallet for like I think 5 years. And he talked to me about what he did, the margin and so on. So like, I mean, I think that this is a great opportunity. I've never heard about that stuff. And I was like, look, let's try to blow this up. So I'll come here. I'll take care of the risk mostly and the finance. I'll take 50% of the company. You carry on as a trader doing what you do. And then we partnered up, I think, in April, if I'm mistaken, 2023. Yeah, so it's going to be almost a year in few months.
You've obviously take it from a small level to quite a large level. So, like, what kind of things did you do, and like, how big did you kind of grow the business? Like, how much was it doing in the beginning, and how much is it doing now? If you can disclose that information,
Yeah, yes, I
or
can tell. We are closing 2023 with 500,000 in revenue. And to be honest, this is I mean, I was expecting double that, but we screwed up a lot of things because it was new, for me to work in Romania and so on. So we made a lot of mistakes that we are still solving it right now as we speak. But yeah, so we did on half a million in revenue. I think it's quite a good start knowing that we really started in April. So yeah, even though I wanted to do 1 million, I mean half of that, but I, I I think a projection would be like 10x this for next year. I mean, for this year, 2024. So we'll see.
so under a year, you got into the business. It was doing a little bit, and you've taken it from that to doing 500,000, 500,000 a year. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but you know that I think that's but we should have done way better. But yeah, man. But also it's like it's a volume business, commodity trading. So it's not that much in the ground thing of scheme. So 500,000. So especially, I know I'm not going to disclose our margin, but the margin are quite high actually with household wood pallet, the one that we trade. But we are trying to move to different product for next year. So this is why I think is going to fill our growth. But the thing, what is really missing, and this is also I can speak about that because I think a lot of people are in this situation. They are very good merchants, they are very good traders, but like in the most basic term, they can see, okay, I think the market is a bit weak. Now I'm going to sell, and I'm going to buy. They are extremely very good commercially. These people that you like very, very fast. It's easy to do business with. They are extremely business minded. They understand that. There's a lot of people like that, and my associate Paul is like that. But what they are missing is really the finance part, which is extremely important in commodity trading because if you want to do like, I don't know, 200 million in revenue, then obviously it's not going to be your own money that you are going to use. You are going to use the money from your bank, from family office, from lenders, and so on. And this part of the business is often what is missing with the one that are more like that I've learned the job, in the street, they have been trading, but because they felt and they are extremely good on the commercial side, but they are lacking this finance and also risk part, which is what I'm bringing. So this is why I had Paul. I mean, the sale was already very, very good, and I knew that it was good. I was like, okay, now let's put a little bit of structure, a better financing, and we can blow this shit.
So when you say better financing, right, what are the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to growing a commodity trading import-export
Yeah.
business?
So okay. So the thing is, they rely too much on the bank. And this is extremely, and it's a big mistake because the bank are not going to help you if you are too small. You are maybe going to get a small credit line, but it's not really going to help you to grow your business. So there are like other type of money that you can get, like for instance, people that work in commodity trade finance fund, CTF fund. So they are specialized in financing commodities trade flow. So if you know what they are looking for, you can basically mold your company to be financeable by those guys. And then this is, yeah, they will be quite, I mean, if you know what you do, if you have a good track record and so on, you can easily get like a 1 million finance by them. I think 1 million is basically the smallest ticket that you can get by those funds. So that's quite doable. That there are family offices that are looking to do direct lending and so on. I mean, there's a lot of way to get finance without selling equity.
Okay.
But you need to know the structure. How do you do repurchase agreement? For instance, if you speak with a family office, what they are looking for in the type of business that they are okay to lend money with and so on. So, and all of that, if you're like a bit too raw as a human being, like real raw in the way that, I mean, it's not going to match with like the bankers from Switzerland, you see. So this is why I'm really good at bridging those two worlds.
Right. Okay. So you've mentioned that you can't depend too much on the bank. And you're right, because when I tried to ask for a credit line for my own commodity trading company, they were giving very small amounts because it's high risk for them and they already
Mm.
make money on very large accounts. So say that they were to go to a family office, right? What are the key things that a lot of family offices and other investors, debt investors more so, are
Yeah.
looking for when they're looking to finance commodity trading firms like yours?
Okay, so what you need to understand is that okay, let's take the case of any type of financier. Those are people that someone give them the money for them to grow the money. All right. So they cannot take a loss. So this is the most important. So they are going to try to find like any any red flags or anything so that they don't lend you the money. So you really need to make sure that everything is perfect. Your books must be perfect. So that means your balance sheet must make a lot of sense. And this is also one of the problems because sometimes, people use the money of their company, like their money and so on. And, they don't really see that it's hurt them on the long run. So you need to have perfectly clean book, really good financial. You need to, so yeah, first thing, your book must be perfect. Then the other things, you need to show them everything that you do to de-risk the transaction. So that means that you need to explain the track record, how you use your supplier, what you've done with your supplier, how you knew your buyer, what you've done with your buyer, how long you've been trading together, who you use as a freight forwarder, the inspection company that you use. I mean, you need to show everything that you are doing to make sure that there is no risk in the trade that you already done. So you need to have also a track record. You cannot ask them to finance a new trade. They won't do it. This must be the type of trade that, look, I can do 2 containers a month with that client, but now I'm looking for some money to do 8 a month. So this is the type of trade that they will, well, let's say, quite easily finance because, okay, the guy you've been doing that for 1 year, we know, all the supply chain, you KYC all the entity of the supply chain. We feel comfortable with that, and now you just need to forex the volume, and so that is the type of trade flow that are the easiest to finance.
Right. And just to take into context your
Yeah.
current trading firm, Grandbar, are you still using a lot more of this debt and raising money to grow from the 500K a year you're doing right now to, I
Yeah,
don't know,
so
maybe.
that's okay. So that we so it's been only it's not even a year. Okay, so
Okay,
this is a
sorry,
bit too
man.
short. No, but with Gamba, to give you a context, it's not
Yeah,
even a
yeah,
year.
sure,
So
sure, sure.
I don't really have like the track record to come and see like alternative finance here to say, look what we've done because it's still too short. But I will do
Okay.
that definitely. I guess by the end of 2024, I will go to see those guys. In meantime, I use private money from family offices as debt, extremely expensive debt, but still, it could get us going. And then I had this debt right at the beginning of the company because they knew me. I mean, that's the only reason
Yeah.
that they did that. Now, by the end of 2024, we are going to use local banks in Romania that are going to give us a little bit of credit. And also what we do is we have like really strong buyers that are willing to prepare. So this is also, I mean, it helps a lot to grow. And in terms of suppliers, also some of them are also willing to sell to the good and then get paid when we get paid.
Interesting. Okay. Piggybacking off that question, it's not just debt that would grow a firm, right? So say a firm's doing 1 to 2 million a year or maybe 3 million a year. Say that you were to come in to that business because you know
Yeah.
quite a lot. I think you've closed over $100 million in deals yourself over the space of your career, over the different companies.
Yeah.
What would you do if you saw a company and you're like, okay, they're doing 3 million a year or 2 million a year. How are you going to supercharge that to maybe $10 million a year or $20 million a year with your knowledge?
Yeah, so basically what I will look at is their current trade flows. It's like, why aren't they doing more? That's the first question. It's like, is it a lack of finance? Most probably that is the case in a lot of cases. So if that is the case, a lack of finance, then I mean, I will try to go back to the financials of the company, make sure to clean everything, to have like a good balance sheet to propose and so on. I will do the KYC on all our counterparties and so on, and I will do a really fat file with all the compliance stuff and so on, and I will go to see alternative finance here and try to see if there is like a trade flow that they could finance. If that is if the problem is a lack of finance, if the problem is the lack of customer, first what I will do is I will look at the biggest customer in their book. And then I will see if there's like other product that I can sell to the same customer. Because usually it's way more easier to sell different product to one customer that you already have, that already trusts you, than to find new customer for a product. So this is what I would do. Okay, I don't know, the guy I would even go as far as like if the guy is buying I don't know, milk powder. This is something that I used to do, like dairy product. I used to sell dairy products. So if the guy is a chocolate maker and is buying milk powder, I would say, look, I don't know, does he need cocoa powder? Is there like any other ingredient that we can sell to the same guy? So this is another thing that I would see. And then the third one is I will then do the I will do a complete research on the supply chain. I would try to see if it would make sense to change a little bit the business model of the company. So if the business model of the company is buying, I don't know, X work and selling SIF, I would see if it will make sense to try to sell DDP. So that's mean not at the port, but really doing the
Yeah.
distribution. I will try to see if it would make sense to put in place distribution centers or agglomeration centers at the origin. So I will try to switch a little bit the business model to see if they can capture more margin like this and go like that. Because usually if you only do FOB SIF, that you can quite easily like be that could be a bottleneck in your growth because then your competition are way bigger company. So that means that it's going to be very difficult to find other FOB SIF deal to do because the competition is there. But if you are willing to take a little bit more risk or do something operationally easier, like doing agglomeration at the origin or distribution in some destination country, then you will unlock growth.
So what you're talking about is
Does it make sense?
yeah, so what you're saying, so everyone understands if
Yeah.
you're not getting this, is taking more control of the supply chain. So
Yeah.
say you buy a product from a company, let's just call it, I don't know, let's just say you buy scrap metal in Africa, right? Instead of buying it FOB, which is where you take control of the goods once it gets on to the vessel. You buy it directly instead from you buy it directly, take the risk from the X Works from the yard, the scrap yard there.
Yeah.
Instead of taking it CIF, which is basically as soon as it lands in the destination port of the country you're importing it into, instead do DDP, which is taking it directly to wherever it's supposed to end up, right? That's what
Yes.
you're trying to say. And
Yes.
because you're taking on the product for longer, you're taking the risk on for longer, so many different things could happen, right? At the port, there could be demurrage charges because it doesn't go through customs. When it's at the loading port, there could be inspection
Yes,
problems. right?
And usually also to do that exactly, buying FOB and selling safe, you can do that quite easily as an international company. So that means that you don't need to have like an office, I don't know, in Turkey if you buy in Turkey, to
Yeah.
buy FOB Turkey. And the same at destination. But when you want to be like really in the country to buy X work and so on, then most probably you need to set up an entity in the country because there is going to be a VAT requirement that you need to purchase licenses or whatever. So this is why it's not that easy, you know, to go on deeper in the both end of the supply chain. You really need to have like entity and so on. But this is usually where there is most margin and where there is most growth. Because again, for SIF, there it's going to be tough to grow like that because you're going to face in commodity. I don't know with finished product, maybe it's maybe
Yeah.
a bit different, but in commodity, you are going to soon you are going to be facing the big guys that have infinite money. So what can you do against them? I don't know.
Right. And just to talk about the bigger guys, right? They have access to unlimited credit almost, right? They have
Yeah.
access to endless amounts of trust because they've been in the game for a lot longer. So say you're a mid-sized commodity firm, or I would say maybe small, right? So you're doing 3 million a year or 2 million a year, and you were trying to go up against a very large player. What would you say are some of the biggest mistakes some of these guys make?
What do you mean? The biggest one?
Yeah, the mistakes that, small sized firms make.
So small. Because I would say the big one. I mean, I don't think they made a lot of mistake.
Of course.
I'll tell you when I do 100 billion in revenue, but 100 billion in revenue. But yes, I see the small guys again. It's I see too many like small traders trying to compete with the market is too difficult because there is already too much competition. And so this is really what I would encourage everyone to do is like to really do okay, try to see exactly where you are strong. In which country do you sell more easily, or where can you buy at a lower rate? What are the reasons? What is your edge? And try to push more on this edge instead of like looking for other deals to do where there is already a lot of competition. I see like too many people, man. They just they can't grow because there is just the market is too again too difficult, I would say. And I can tell you, but this is why a lot of firms stay small because they basically cannot grow out of their niche. They are doing one trade flow extremely profitable, and then each time they want to do something else, they just see that they are in the ocean is red everywhere. They see like sharks everywhere. Like what the I cannot get my 5% plus margin there. Yeah, of course, it's impossible. There's like already too many players, and so they cannot outgrow the niche trade flow. Let's say, so they will stay in this state. And usually, I mean, if you do like, I don't know, 10, 20 million in revenue with a decent margin and you have a team of 3, 4 people, that's a good life. So a lot of traders that have like a dish trading firm, they just stay like that. And because when you grow, you take also more risk and so on. And then maybe if you are like in the second part of your career, you don't want to spend your time in a plane, you know, just trying to grow for the sake of growing, even though it's no more profitable. So
So would you say that if you're actually at that stage, you meet a lot of people who are, it doesn't make really sense to grow it to another level because the risk
yeah.
that they take on is crazy.
Yes, exactly. And this is also why there is like at a bigger level, this is why there is no mid-size. It's almost there's no mid-size commodity trading firm. They have all gone or they are all struggling because and by mid-size I would say between 500 million to 1 billion in revenue. So this is what we would call a mid-size.
Mid-size.
Yeah, but you know it's. I mean, so this is what we would call a mid-size trading firm. And those are a company with like, I don't know, like maybe 30, 50 people, or depend on their structure, but they are like 3, 4 offices and so on. And the problem with those guys, like they do not have access to the same type of financing as a large trading firm, but they are in the same market as them. So that means that already they have a cost of financing higher than the other guy. So for them, it's more complicated to do deals, profitable, or they are less profitable. So that's already a big issue. And the other one is like they are too big to spend time on niche trade flow like you will do as a small firm because it doesn't really make sense at the side. But then when they go to be in front of the Trafigura, Vitol, Glencore, they just get smashed because they don't have the same cost of financing and so on. So the life is very difficult for this mid-sized commodity trading firm. And this is why I would say like 10 years ago, a lot of them have been even more than that have been bought by the big guys.
Mm.
And a lot of them are just just decreased, sold part of their business and so on, and just stayed where they are extremely strong in the geography that they completely control, and that's pretty much it. But again, that
That's interesting because you know how people talk about crony capitalism. Do you know what crony capitalism is?
yeah, sure.
So you would
Like, yeah,
say
it's Europe.
100% exists, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course, man. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it exists. Yeah,
Interesting.
but I mean, there's like but it exists everywhere. It just depends on the size. If you want to do that in Europe, I guess you need to be a big company. You know, if you want to go in bed with like the European leaders. In some countries, it's easier because it requires less money. But at the end of the day, this is the same principle. Yes.
Okay, just to move on to more
Yeah.
very actionable pieces of advice that some of our audience can really take and start implementing right now. Say they wanted to close more deals. What I'm gathering from what you're saying is that the importance of due diligence and research before they jump into executing a trade, right? So, what kind of things as actionable advice can they do before they look into executing a trade? Is it
Yeah.
researching the market? Is it
You
talking
mean
to buyers? What do you
you
think?
mean you mean vetting a counterparty? This is what you mean when
Yeah,
you are
this
going
kind of
to deal
thing,
with a
but
new.
also like they're looking to get into a new product, right? They're looking to buy a new product and resell it somewhere else.
Okay. So yes, it requires a lot of time, and this is really what a lot of people want to shortcut this part because they think they have a deal, and then they are going to ignore all the red flags because they just want to make it work. So, but yeah, you need to spend a lot of time trying to understand where you fit in the supply chain and why you would fit there. So you need to speak with buyers, you need to speak with suppliers, you need to speak with warehousing company. If this is like a commodity that is going to be stored at the port and so on, you need to speak with them. Usually those are the best one to get the intel because they know all the players. Like let's say, I don't know, you do coal out of South Africa. There's maybe 5 warehousing company that like are big enough to warehouse stockpile of coal. You just speak to the sales guys and it's going to tell you everything that you need to know because he wants you as a customer. So then you can map out quite easily what is really the trade flow and who is doing what by speaking with all the service provider, warehousing company, inspection company also. Just call up the local office which is sampling the copper in
Yeah,
one region, and then they will know all the buyers, all the sellers because they work for them. So yeah, those
yeah,
are the guys, the service provider that I would spend a lot of time with because they are going to prevent you from making mistake. I can give you a really
yeah. Go on.
an illustration about that. We tried before doing the recycling metals in DRC, Democratic Republic. We went there for a copper deal, like a lot of clueless guys. We were there for copper deal, but then we sent we asked an inspection company to inspect a lot, and the inspection company said, "Look, this is the fourth time that someone is asking us to go analyze this lot, so it doesn't smell good." We're like, "Yeah, okay, thank you." So that means that there's already like maybe 4 buyer, or they try to sell 4 times this lot. I mean, something is up, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. So they can really help you in a very difficult region like this.
Interesting. And one of the things that I'm noticing from everything you're saying is a lot of the information that you're gathering here isn't online. You're actually speaking to
Yeah,
people.
no, yeah.
Do you think
Yeah, so
this
this
is
is why,
something?
yeah. So this is why I think. Oh, okay. So, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess for your generation, you never have you seen like a phone without internet on it?
Yes, when I was young, but not anymore, of course.
Yeah, but you never worked without it. So
I
when
was
I started,
14.
yeah. So yeah. So basically, international trade used to be always on the phone because this is how you speak with people. And then what I've seen with the internet is now all the young people like you, they spend all the time like texting because it's faster and so on. The problem when you text someone is that you miss 80% of the information, which is going to be the tone of the voice, the tonality, and so on. And also when you text, usually you don't do joke or something like this. You don't create a lot of report because I mean, it's if you cannot put a ton, maybe the joke is not going to be funny if you just text it or so on. So you miss a lot of rapport building when you don't speak with someone on the phone. And this is what I think a good opportunity for the young guys that are watching this, that are still watching this. So if you just speak with people on the phone, you will get way more information and you will get way more intel about what is going on than if you just text or send email. But I don't know why, but the people are afraid of speaking now. Speaking with strangers, cold calling, and so on. A lot of people are really afraid of it. And okay, I thought that it was normal to be afraid because it's quite uncomfortable when you cold call or something like this. I can get that, but now it's like anxiety level is like 200. When you ask someone to call. So when you ask, I asked my young employee to call someone, and I was like, I thought that I asked them to, oh, then snake it or something like this. I was amazed, but so if you can do that, if you
Yeah,
are a Youngbox and you can be comfortable cold calling, you'll do well. You'll do well because the threshold is so low.
that's really interesting because while a lot of businesses are becoming more digital, the one thing that I've noticed from this industry is it's still very much backwards. And I think that's a good thing because it allows you to thrive, right? It allows people who are extroverted like you and I to build relationships quite quickly, whereas the people who are addicted to these tend to struggle, right?
Yes, I think, but what a lot of people have tried to solve this issue with a lot of different tools. But what they are missing is like in international trade and import export the same. You are talking with people with completely different cultures. We are with different laws and you cannot streamline it as you would in the US or in Europe, where everyone is following the same law and so on. You can make a protocol. If everyone follows the same protocol, then this, that, and that happen. It's not possible in international trade because I don't know, you want to ship something in Nigeria. The guy in Nigeria say, oh, we need the health certificate. Okay, so let's say you ship something out of Brazil to Nigeria. And then Brazil, the health certificate, the health authorities stamp it with a triangle stamp. You're like, okay, cool. This is how they do in Brazil. Then in Nigeria, the guy at the health whatever register said, no, triangle stamp doesn't work here. What the fuck? Who said that? Yeah, there is a law. Look, it says stamped should be round and blue. Like, what is going? I mean, this is the type of situation that you are going to face. That I mean, you cannot really streamline in with any software. You need to have someone that says, okay, how do we do that? Can you change the law in Nigeria? Probably not. Can you ask the guy in Brazil to change the stamp? It's going to be tough. So we need to find a solution because my cargo is then going to be blocked. So there's a lot of I mean, the world is way more, the physical world is way more complex that when you try to make a system out of it. So this is why I think it will remain for a very, very long time, a very, very backward industry, but for good reason.
And that's a good thing because I think you released a video, we'll link it here if you can see it, about AI and how this industry is AI proof, right?
Yeah, my point is like obviously for operationally in your company, AI is going to help a lot for sure. I'm sure that AI will be able to do a lot of stuff, so you will need less employee and so on. But what the AI won't be able to do is like to help build the trust with your counterparty and so on. Maybe there's going to be tools that will help you create trust with more people and so on. But at the end of the day, you still need to go out, to go there, to meet the guy at the factory, to go out doing karaoke with this guy and his wife. I mean, if this is what he wants, I mean, you still need to do that, and. So, and this part is going to remain extremely human. So this is why I think the longer you are in this industry, the more trust you compound with more counterparty, and then I don't see it getting ripped off by AI.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And bringing that on to closing deals, right? You talk a lot about this on your channel, closing your first deal. So, people talk about tech and using software. What do you think are the main things, the main fundamentals that you need to do to close deals in general, or even your first deal? I guess it's the same thing, right? For your first deal and also for other deals, or is
I
it
mean,
not?
no, it's not. It's not. So, for instance, I had a lunch. We talked about that with a friend. The guy is like a aluminum trader, and just we were like having a fondue in Switzerland. Okay, so very typical. And so the guy was like on his phone. He's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, just I need to reply to that." He sent a WhatsApp and he said, "Yeah, just to close a deal. I'm going to make I don't know like a huge amount of money." And we're like, yeah, sweet, man. But he said, it's funny. I mean, with that counterparty, I can just say, okay, done. Price is this. Send the WhatsApp message, and it's done. I mean, it's over. We know that everything is going well. But, I mean, obviously, he has a back office that is going to handle the transaction and so on. But he's able to do a multi-million-dollar deal while eating a fondue on his WhatsApp because it's been 10 fucking years that he's been trading with that guy. So he knows that he can send the confirmation on WhatsApp and then it's going to be okay. But if you do the same deal with a new counterparty, it would be impossible. I mean, you need to
Yeah.
go there to do the vetting. You need to make sure that he signs the contract. As long as he has not signed the contract, you are not going to consider it a deal close. Then you are going to say, okay, who signed the contract? Okay, is this guy, is it legal? I mean, can he sign the contract? Then you are going to take the registry of the company to make sure that this guy can sign the contract. Then in a lot of countries, the guy that signed the contract is not allowed to sign per the registry. So you're like, okay, I mean, that's probably how it's done there, but you need to know that this is not valid. So then how are you going to carry on with the contract or not? I mean, this is way more complex for the first deal with someone that for the, I don't know, hundred deal. So that's what I
Yeah.
would say. But my question is for the people that, if your question was how to start, if you really start from scratch,
Yeah.
the most important is to start with a buyer that is going to give you a shot. That's the most important.
So it
You
seems
need
like the
to
most important thing is trust, right?
exactly.
Giving you that first shot.
Yes, exactly. So the best is to find someone which is in your network or in your extended network or whatever. Like if you're still at university, maybe there's like entrepreneurs, old entrepreneurs that want to help young people and so on. Maybe take one of those guys and that is go to him and say, look, man, I want to do this trading business. What I don't know. They'll say the guy buys chemicals to clean some shit. And they say, what, these chemicals, where are you buying from? Okay, I buy from that guy. What are the price and what is the payment term? If I can match them, can you give me a shot? And usually, the guy, I mean, if not, but there's chance that the guys will say, okay, if you can match the same product, same price, I'll buy from you next one. And then this is how you start.
Very good, very good. I have a couple more questions before we end, and some of them are a little bit unrelated to each other, but I still would like to get your 2 cents on them, right?
Yeah,
So
man.
you talk about Alex Hormozy a lot on your channel. I think you're quite a big fan of that guy, right?
Yeah, but but now it's like old news, you know. I
Yeah,
was a fan of Alex, or was it like 18 months ago when he started? I was like,
yeah.
oh, you know that guy, but now it's too big. But of course, how can you not be a fan of Alex Hormozy?
Okay, so one thing that he talks about is focus, right?
Mhm.
Focusing on one commodity trading firm, one import-export business. How come you don't do that? How come you have like multiple different companies running at the same time? Is it different?
So, yeah, so it's do you see like my tattoo? It's written
I like
focus.
that.
But it was way before Alex Hormozy. Just
Okay, okay, sure.
so, so just and I have his head on my back. No,
You
no,
have
but
like a picture of Alex on your back.
yeah, and his wife here. No, but no, no, so, okay, so that's a very good question. It's okay. There is one thing is like in my thinking is like there's a lot of there's a lot of niches for commodity trading, geographical niche, product niche, and so on that you can tape. And usually those niche, they have like a really good margin compared to all the big product like sugar, copper, whatever. And there is less competition and so on. So my thinking was like, look, if I can find someone like a manager that can be the head of this niche, okay, and then I can find another guy that can be in charge of this niche and so on, then I can create a big company, but by starting with small niche trade flow, then I can agglomerate all of them in one holding company or whatever. So that's basically the idea. The problem is like it's very, very difficult to find those niche and then to execute on it. So you cannot really, or maybe I don't know how to do it, but you cannot really have an employee that will put the 12 hours, 13 hours a day, that will do the cold call, that will spend their time traveling and so on to make sure that they do one deal and so on. So I found like maybe what I have is business partner. So I have a handful of business partner, and basically they are the CEO of the business. They are or the main trader of the business. They are the one that knows everything about this product and so on. And I'm only a partner. So I have that with a handful of one. And what I'm building is like the other part of the company, which is the finance and the risk. So, and when those companies are going to be big enough, I'll do basically a merger where I take the share of the company that I have, and then I will put them in one holding company. So at the end, I will end up with one company. But right now, yes, it could be a bit scattered. But the thing is, and I'm not the specialist in all of those markets. In some, I have because I know the right guy and so on, but I'm not the specialist. I'm just the one, the adult in the room. Like, look, we are going to do this deal. It's extremely risky. No, we don't need $500. We don't need this $500 and risk of losing 50K. I mean, there's a lot of things that when you are very young, very ambitious, very hungry, you are going to disregard a lot of risk factor. And I'm the bad guy in the relationship that said, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. Yeah, but I've been working for, we can't call your client. We need different term and so on.
That's really interesting. So you have
Does it make sense what I've said?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
Basically, you're talking about the value add that you add to the company, right? Because you're good at certain things, which is risk, assessing that risk, being the bad guy, and then also financing, which is what you spoke about earlier. It seems like you know a lot about that, and I think that's your goal, right? Finding other commodity trading businesses to potentially invest
yes, yeah,
into.
yeah,
Is that
to
a
buy
goal?
exactly to buy or but it's just we need to have like a trader, someone that I can trust 100%, and a guy which is commercial. I mean, there is like some people that have inherently that are better at business or at that type of business. They
Yeah.
when they speak, or you like the guy, even if when they don't speak, you like the guy. So this is the type of partner that I want to have, because I know that commercially they're going to be good. So and their job is really the most difficult, which is they need to break into all those the door to find suppliers, buyers, and so on. And then I come up as a Swiss business partner, like the adult. Like, okay, we're going to this, and that. But they do the grunt work, the really difficult work. So that's yeah, that's basically the model that I've been doing for like 3 years
Yeah,
now.
and
Two
it's
years.
not just this that you do. You have your own YouTube channel, right? And shout
Yeah.
out to that. I'm sure we'll have a little B-roll of that. But on top of that, what's the goal with that YouTube channel? Why did you
Yeah.
start that?
So the goal of the YouTube channel is to create it's basically to create trust at scale. It's like for people to deal faster with me and so on. So because when you trust someone, when you know someone, when you feel that you know someone, actually you are going to close to trust them the more easily anyway. So
Yeah,
and then so this is what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel. So I had this, so this is why 2 years ago I started the YouTube channel as an experience, and then I'm like, look, it works so well, so I'll carry on. Then I have this. Then I have my shipping and commodity academy. So this is for the guy that wants to learn physical commodity trading, because it started as a blog like 7 years ago, something like this, and then it ended up on this academy. So then I can take the audience that I have on the YouTube, push the people to just shipping and commodity academy, and out of those, maybe a handful are going to be like trading partners on the line, or even like my partners, like my business partner. But out of, I don't know, 1,000 guys, one of them is going to end up my business partner or something like this. It's a very big funnel that I need to put in place just to provide one right guy to start a business with. But it's been working. So and the idea of YouTube is just to give like as much value as possible on the explaining just what I do, and then yeah, if I can monetize that with the courses, it's cool. But I'm really making more money with the deal that it allows me to do.
yeah, that's crazy. And that's such a really interesting thing. I think a lot of people on YouTube, right, they'll create a YouTube channel, but they're just trying to sell silly little t-shirts or a $50 product, right? But instead you have a mindset of what you want to do with it and a set goal, which is to build more trust with people so that you can build your commodity trading businesses to infinite levels,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Yes, but I'm also older. Like I'm 37 years old. So
Okay.
I've been doing this commodity trading stuff for like 15 years. So I have way more. I mean, if you are like a young YouTuber, yeah, what do you know to do? I don't know. Maybe you are pretty good at social media or whatever. Maybe, but I have like a set of expertise which is um not that common. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I'm going to be the first one on YouTube to speak about physical commodity trading. So I was like, let's try. Maybe nobody gives a shit. So this is also a possibility, but I mean, let's try. And then also, I don't, it doesn't need to be the best at YouTube. just to have an audience. Because if I want to be like, I don't know, to stream a game or whatever, then you need to be extremely entertaining and so on, just to have people to watch you because there's a lot of competition. Here, there's no competition. So all the people that are quite somehow interested in the topic, they will end up seeing me one day or another.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. I love that. And I really love everything that you've said here. I mean, there's been so much incredible insights, and you've answered a lot of the questions that I have, because I don't know if you know, but I've actually watched pretty much nearly every one of your videos. And I feel like I know you a lot more than you probably know me. And that's the great
Yeah,
effect of it. You'll build that trust, right?
yeah. And I think it's also, again, it's easier for me because I think I'm older. Because I think if I would have been like 15 years younger, I maybe would have tried to bullshit a little bit on YouTube, like said something
Yeah,
that are not true and so on, because I wouldn't feel like as I don't know. I don't really need the validation on YouTube to feel great. You know, I have my wife, my kids, I have my businesses. I don't need that. But I'm pretty sure that if you are younger and you don't really have anything else, you will ask. I mean, you will need a lot of validation. So you'll try to make the thing a bit more shinier that it is,
yeah.
just to appear big on YouTube. And I think
Yeah.
this is. I would definitely have done that for sure, knowing
So
myself.
which
But
is why at 25, instead of me trying to give loads and loads of advice, I mean, I have a very small amount of advice. I've done quite well running my own marketing agency and then consulting with other companies that work one-on-one with us at Vugis. But I'm not pretending like I've done $100 million in deals for commodity trading or imports or exports, or work with logistics companies, worked in a logistics company and made billions of dollars. I'm not going to pretend like that. But I think it's very easy to fall into that trap. But as soon as you fall into that trap, you've
then
lost
you're
your
lost.
audience.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
But I think also what you are doing at Fuji, I think you. This is why I'm using it actually, and I encourage everyone to use it. Is because you found there's like a bunch of competitors, but there are way. I mean, the quality is not there, and I don't know what you are doing to get like just better quality, more simplicity. But your competitors are way overpriced, and the quality is not there. I don't know one guy that is subscribed more than 1 month at your competitor. They all tried and then they just left because they like, "Yo, man, this is so props to you, man."
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want to share with my audience before you go? You've been really, really great.
No, yeah, not really, man. Go follow me on YouTube. And that's pretty much the only call to action.
Great, great. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And thank you,
No problem.
Damien. We'll speak to you guys all soon. Goodbye.